Hello, beautiful people. How are you doing? I am Alicia. Welcome back. This is day four. Day four. Yeah. This is day four, and we're going to talk about replacing fear with love. This is a classic, basic spiritual principle. It's something that all the spiritual traditions, including like the anti-spiritual traditions, like this is something that everybody agrees on. Just the importance and the primacy of love. But I think we don't always go deep enough and we don't always see it in a spiritual way. So what I want to talk to you about is the damaging nature of fear and the power that you have to choose to replace your fear with love in an instant. You are a powerful creative being. You are the watcher of your thoughts, and you have control over your thoughts. Now, our ego mind, our rational mind, wants us to think that we are our thoughts and that they come and that we can't control them. But it's not true. Your true nature is love. You are a spiritual being, and fear is something that we learn in this world and we're surrounded by in this world, but you are not your fear. Your fear does not own you. And so here's the exercise for today. Today, I want you to practice replacing your fear with love. Was it FDR that said the only thing to fear is fear itself? Well, it's true. The single biggest temptation and struggle and challenge that I think that we have is that we give in to fear. Um, when I started reading the spiritual teachers and reading some of these books, I was amazed at the profound but simple truth that everything bad comes from fear. All the bad emotions, all the sin, all the awful things that people do, some people, the bad stuff that's out there, it's all rooted in fear. And the solution, all of the good things, everything wonderful and beautiful in life comes from God or spirit, source energy. It comes from love. God is love, spirit, energy. It's love. Everything good comes back to love. Everything, some say that, well, I forget what it is. But, anyways, everything that's real is love, everything else is an illusion. We won't get into that right now. My point is, we're talking about being at peace with being at home, and that is my journey. That is the lesson that I've spent the last few years learning, and so I've been thinking about how to distill down for you certain specific bite-sized kind of practices that you can do. So for today, we already talked about kind of being aware of the two selves inside your mind and practicing watching your thoughts and changing your story about your thoughts and your emotions. And so today, I want you to watch your thoughts and your emotions and notice when you have a fearful thought, when you're starting to feel afraid, and make the choice. And it can be a choice, or if it feels hard, it can be a prayer. Carolyn Miss says, no prayer goes unanswered. Every prayer is heard, and I completely believe that. No prayer goes unheard. If you pray, God, spirit, higher power, whatever it is that resonates with you, and if you're not sure, it doesn't matter. Spirit is there. You are made of spirit. You're surrounded by spirit. You are a spiritual being. Spirit is a reality, and spirit will hear you. The angels will hear you. So, if you want more on this, Gabrielle Bernstein, May Cause Miracles. She has some really good meditations in there, but basically she teaches us to just say simple things like, I choose to see peace instead of this. Um, I want you to try saying, I choose to replace my fear with love. I choose to see this through love. I choose to have a loving mindset. So, what are some practical examples? Okay, for parenting, like even when we're at home and nobody's watching, or you think that your spouse is watching, or they might hear the story later, when we're parenting, I think it's so easy for there to be so much guilt. Sorry, I did one. It's so easy to feel guilt out of what we're not doing. And I know for so many of you, if you were used to being at work and you were used to your kids being at school and they're at home now and the schools are trying to figure out what to send you to do, there could be a lot of guilt or worry or anxiety about doing enough or about what you're supposed to do. But I just want to encourage you and speak to you that when you approach this, like every decision you make throughout the day, just watching your daily mindset, like your mindset throughout the day as you're making decisions, as you're trying to set a schedule, and then if the schedule gets thrown out the window or it works to some extent or it doesn't. Oh, they're coming to change our cable. We canceled cable because we don't have sports anymore, and that was the only reason that we had cable, was for sports. Anyways, okay. So throughout the day, especially as you're interacting with your children, if you have a fearful mindset, you will interpret everything. Like if you're allowing yourself to live out of fear, all of your potential fears will surface and you will read your fears into things. And so if your kids don't follow the schedule, you'll be afraid their teachers will be upset with you, that you'll be afraid that your kids are going to fall behind, you'll be afraid that you're being a bad parent or that your spouse will think that you're not doing enough or whatever, right? All the things, so many things. I know. Now, let that go. Every time that you find yourself sliding into that, choose to align with love instead. Choose to have a loving mindset. Pray for assistance from the universe. Choose love and think and tap into your love for yourself, your love for your spouse, your love for your kids, and that will bring you peace, and then that will show you the way. And that will challenge your ego, which is why I started with talking about the soul and the ego on day one. An underlying theme for all of this is going to be stopping living from your ego, from rational thought, from the false self that is created when we're not aligned with spirit, when we're not aligned with truth and love and the true nature of our soul. Then we replace that with something else, and that is fear and rational thought. And that's where we overanalyze and we get into this lack mentality and this separation mentality, and we feel like we're on our own and we have to figure out everything ourselves. That's an illusion. It's not true, because the abundance of the universe is available to us, and we are connected to each other and to God and to everything that we need. But that's the tension. So practice returning to love, practice praying for grace to make that switch. Pray for assistance to shift your identity from your ego to your soul, from that chattering mind, as Stephen Pressfield calls it, to spirit and love. And the simplest way I can teach you this is fear and love. And I've been practicing this for several months, and it's been profound. It's been profoundly powerful for me. So what else? I mean, related to this is judgment. Where am I at? 8 minutes? I'm trying to keep these shorter so that you can watch them each day, or however you want to watch them. Judgment. Whenever you find yourself judging yourself, feeling that stress, that strain, that striving, like you're not good enough until you get there, or you can't be at peace or let yourself relax until you get to this or to that. Well, it's not true. As we go along, the place that I've come to, that I want to bring you to, that's possible to find, is where you find your center and you are at peace. You are enough. You are love. You are the universe. You are spirit. You are enough. You are beautiful. You are love. You are whole. You are centered. And you feel the assistance. You feel the assistance of spirit. You know that you are not alone. You feel your connection. And then you move forward. And it's possible to live in that place where every challenge, you can decide, I choose to do this with ease and joy. And it just works. I've been practicing this and it works. There have been things that I dreaded, like getting my car fixed. And then I decided I'm going to choose to believe this is going to happen with ease and joy. And it did. The very first time that I started to have this thought, that I started to believe about it, kind of believe in it and think, oh, what if that could happen with ease and joy, was buying this most recent house, moving into our house. And it happened with ease and joy, and that really built my faith. So I want to encourage you, look for ways for things to happen with flow and with ease and joy. And the more that that happens, then the more that will build your faith. And when you find resistance to this, it's going to come back to your concept of yourself. And when you feel like you're not good enough and you don't deserve good things and you don't deserve to be joyful in this season or whatever, right? We kind of talked about guilt last time. How is yourself judging yourself? That comes out of a misidentity. It comes from your identity being in the wrong place and your understanding of your relationship to others being in the wrong place, because the ego always judges and compares. And so you're like, oh, am I allowed to have joy if other people are not having joy? No, you are love, you are joy. Living in joy and peace is aligning with your true self, and that sends goodness and positivity into the universe, and that positively influences everyone. I know it's crazy. Some of that I'm still getting my head around, but the practical part of it, I have found peace in the midst of anything, and you can too. And it is a powerful place to be if you can be in that, if you can find that inner state of peace, and then you can move forward out of that. That's a powerful place to be in the midst of all this craziness and having everything home and your kids being off of their schedule and all of that. You can be in that place. You don't just deserve it. It's your birthright. It's who you are. You can be in that place. I'm going to continue to speak this truth into you until you get it. I think that's why I'm doing too many videos. 14 is just kind of what was impressed on my spirit, and so I went with it. Yeah, so the way that I want you to practice that for today is to, when you find yourself being fearful, or you're trying to make a decision, or you find yourself reacting in fear, just check yourself, just pause for a minute, align yourself with love, say a prayer, think about how you are loved and you love yourself and you love your kids, choose to release fear, and just ask yourself, if I wasn't being fearful, if I wasn't afraid of what people thought or what would happen or this or that or the other, if I was free to just act out of love, what would I do? And I believe spirit will drop truth into your heart at that. When you come to that place, you will get an answer. All right, that is enough for this video. I love you. Be at peace. Practice replacing your fear with love. It will produce miracles for you, I promise. All right.